Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast entitled Human Resources Specific to Strategy. My name is Mark Luigi Guzman, a former production staff of Yesterday Enterprise, and I am your host for today's podcast. Today, we invited 5 speakers, including me, that we're going to discuss human resource specific strategy. So, without further ado, let's start this podcast. First, let's define human resource strategy. A human resource strategy is the plan that a business creates to manage its human capital in a way that aligns with the company overall mission. An effective human resource policy can help maintain high levels of employee satisfaction and encourage referrals from happy team members as interest new recruits. So basically, human resource strategy is a strategy that business creates para sa mga empleyado para ma-manage yung environment ng isang company and para ma-solve yung mga challenges sa loob ng company and the people para sa with the people-centric solutions. First of our specific strategy of human resources is let's talk about talent acquisition. Talent acquisition refers to the process of identifying and acquiring skilled workers to meet your organizational needs. The talent acquisition team is responsible for identifying, acquiring, assessing, and hiring to fill the open positions within the company. Sa talent acquisitions, dito madidetermine ng HR kung qualified ba yung isang aplikante sa isang position na ina-applyan nila. Because sometimes the company needs a specific skill na to fulfill the goals of the company. So may mga specific skill kasi na kailangan ng company, which is kunyari sa company na to kailangan ng video editor. Sa isang company na to is kailangan ng marketing manager. So dito ito yung ginagawa ng HR para ma-determine nila kung ano yung kailangan nilang tao at kung ano yung specific na tao na kailangan nila sa posisyon sa loob ng company. Second one is employee development. Employee development is the process of helping employees progress in their careers by acquiring new skills. Its goal is to improve the existing competencies of employees and help them and develop new ones, all to support your business goals. Dito naman determine ng dito naman sa employee development, it is a strategy of the HR to empower their employees by having trainings, seminars, and other skill development related activities. Next one, performance management. Performance management is an ongoing continuous process of communicating and clarifying job responsibilities, priorities, expectations, and development planning that optimize an individual's performance and goals. Dito sa performance management, it is a strategy of HR that identifies the employee's performance in the company. That this helps recognizing and rewarding high performers as well as identifying areas for improvement. So dito, ginagawa to ng HR para ma-identify yung satisfaction ng mga empleyado. So nagkakaroon sila ng parang quarterly surveys para malaman kung sino ba sa kanila yung nag-excel sa mga position na meron sila. So dito rin makikita kung sino ba yung mga dapat bigyan ng reward na employees. Sa pang-apat, almost parehas lang din siya ng performance management. Pero din sa part na to is naka-focus to sa reward. So, ang next natin is compensation and benefits. Compensation and benefits refers to the reward an organization provides to its employee in exchange for their labor. An attractive compensation and benefits plan can help you attract and retain top talent and keep them happy, motivated, and engaged at work. Therefore, compensation and benefits are the key of human resource management. So basically, compensation and benefits is a strategy of HR to acknowledge the performance of the top talents of the company to keep them motivated and engaged at work. So dito naman sa compensation and benefits, ito yung mga rewards na binibigay dun sa mga employee kapag nakikitaan sila ng nag-excel sa trabaho, sa lahat ng work nila, nabibigyan sila ng bonus, nabibigyan sila ng health benefits because para ma-maintain yung motivation nila na magpatuloy doon sa company at mas maganahan pa sila magtrabaho. Next, Employee engagement. Employee engagement is the extent to which employees feel passionate about their jobs, are committed to the organization, and put discretionary effort into their work. To retain the high level of satisfaction, the HR teams initiates a program quarterly evaluation and survey to determine the good and bad experience of the employee. So para rin to yung kagaya sa performance management. Pero dito naman sa employee management, dito nagkakaroon ng quarterly surveys or even every week or every month, once a month na surveys para malaman dito yung satisfaction ng isang empleyado sa company. So parang dito may makikita kung masaya pa ba sila sa trabaho nila, masaya pa ba sila sa environment ng trabaho nila, at yung facilities is magagagamit ba nila na maayos o hindi, or may sira doon sa facilities na meron sa isang company. Succession planning. Succession planning focuses on identifying and developing specific high potential employees for critical goals. It involves creating strategy for developing and replacing key people in the organization over a set period of time. Usually, yung dito naman sa succession planning, nagkakaroon ng promotion within 5 years to 10 years of interval. So dito na-determine kung dito nare-retain yung mga high potential na employees na kung saan nakikita ng HR na parang etong taong to is dapat nakasa mas mataas pang posisyon. Kumbaga, mas kailangan ng company doon sa isang mas mataas na position like from regular employee to manager. Usually, na-determine siya sa loob ng 5 to 10 years interval. Next, legal compliance. Legal compliance is HR compliance is the process of building policies and procedures that ensure organizations follows up to date labor and employment laws and regulations. So, ito yung parang batas sa loob ng company. So, ito yung parang umiiral dito, nakapaloob kung anong oras dapat sila nasa loob ng opisina, kung anong oras sila dapat taga-out, kung ano yung mga batas na bawal, ay yung mga bagay na bawal sa loob ng opisina, yung mga pwede nilang gawin, at yung mga bagay na pwedeng magiging karapatan nila sa loob ng opisina. And lastly, change management is a process that helps organizations manage changes to their business process structures and cultures. The goal of change management is to ensures that change are made in a controlled and safe manner and the benefits of the changes are realized. And that is it for our first speaker. And let's move on with and as we continue our podcast, let's call our next speaker. Our next speaker our next speaker is a former marketing staff of Best in the Enterprise that will be discussing on how to create competitive atmosphere and facilitation of change in HR. Please welcome Ms. Alessandra Sophia de los Santos.
Thank you, Mr. De Guzman. Creating competitive atmosphere in HR. Here, nag-implement ng strategies and practices ang Human Resource Department of a company or organization para magkaroon ng healthy competition among employees. So, next slide. Here are some ways organizations can create a competitive atmosphere in HR. Number one is performance-based rewards. Here, they implement reward systems like bonuses, incentives, and recognition programs based on individual or team achievements. For employees, it can motivate them to excel and compete to reach the company's goal. Number two is clear goals and expectations. Setting a clear and challenging goals for employees ensures they have a target to strive for. Clearly defined expectations and performance metrics help employees understand what is required to succeed. And next, training and development. Here, nagpaprovide sila ng training workshops and career advancement programs that can create a competitive environment where employees strive to improve their skills and competencies to progress in their careers. Next is transparent performance evaluation. Nagko-conduct sila dito ng fair and transparent performance evaluation based on objective criteria para makita ng mga employees and ma-help sila to understand where they stand relative to their peers. Next is promoting collaboration. While competition is important, fostering a collaborative and culture where employees can work together towards common goals is also crucial. Encouraging teamwork, knowledge sharing, and cross-functional collaboration ensures a balanced competitive atmosphere. And lastly, career growth opportunity. Advancement, promotions, and leadership roles based on merit and performance encourages employees to compete for growth within the organization. Next is facilitation of change in HR. So sa facilitation of change in HR naman, it refers to process of guiding and supporting employees and companies sa transitions and changes in HR policies, practices, or structures. Facilitation of change in HR. So sa facilitation of change in HR naman, it refers to process of guiding and supporting employees and companies sa transitions and change in HR policies, practices, or structures. Next slide. Here are 4 contributions of HR to change management. Number 1, HR facilitates communication of the change. Here, yung HR ang nagiging way sa employees nila para masabi nila yung concerns nila and ma-help sila ng HR na ma-execute yung plans nila. Second is develop training programs to build towards changes. Nothing will change in your company unless your people have the reason to enact the change. So training is crucial. So HR develop training programs and iniisip nila yung mga gaps ng employees para i-help sila na ma-enhance yung skills. Number 3, track performance and engagement to review the effects of change. The leader should check in on employee development following a change. Consider running a program in which all employees write down development plans reviewed by their managers. And lastly, ensure any new strategy or policy aligns with the company's cultures. HR needs any new strategy or policy na dapat align sa company's culture nila. For example, need nila mag-work from home. Pero dapat align pa din yun sa policy nila na kailangan transparent sila about sa work na ginagawa. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Ms. Alessandra Sophia Dos Santos. And now let's proceed to our next speaker. Is a former production staff of Swaxlock Enterprise. Please welcome Stacey Rose Docon.
So workforce diversity refers to the variety of background, experience, and perspective present in the workplace. This can include race, ethnicity, and gender, sexual orientation, age, disability, and socio-economic background. So, ang workforce diversity daw ay mayroong iba't ibang background ng mga employees na pinapakita sa trabaho. Then, the next is inclusion. Inclusion is focused on creating a work environment where everyone feels valued, respected, and empowered to contribute their unique talents and ideas. It's about fostering a sense of belonging and ensuring everyone has equal opportunities to succeed. For example, sa isang company, there is an employee na may kapansanan sa pandinig. So, para mapanatili ang inclusion, the company provides a training to the other employees on a sign language and effective communication with that person. So, they also install a visual alarm to ensure the employee is informed during emergency. So, sa paraan na ito is ang employee na yon is napapakita niya at nararamdaman niya na na-welcome siya at ramdam niya na bahagi talaga siya ng grupo kasi nga sa ganito ay napapakita ng company na kailangan nila na nagpo-provide sila sa mga pangangailangan ng kapwa nila employee. Then, the next slide please. So, dito naman tayo sa possible characteristic of employees. So, magbibigay ako dito ng possible example. So, ang name ng company nito is Green Tech Solution na developer of sustainable energy solution. So, ang employee na natin is si Priya. So, 20 years old na siya and recent immigrant from India and identifies as non-binary And Priya is passionate about environmental process and enjoy working on projects that align with their values. So first natin is gender and sexual orientation. So gender and sexual orientation dito is Green Tech Solution has a strong LGBTQ employees resource group which help Priya feel welcome and value. And next is race and ethnicity. So Priya may experience some initial challenges navigating company culture as a newcomer, but Green Tech offers mentorship programs especially designed to support new immigrants. And next is religion. So, ang Green Tech ay nagbigay ng policy na magkakaroon sila ng schedule for religious during holidays. Then next is age. Priya youthful perspective and tech skill are valued by the company, but they might not have the same level of experience as older core workers. Then Green Tech could address this by offering training and opportunities to mentorship. So, and next is physical abilities and disabilities. So, Priya doesn't have any reported disabilities, but Green Tech commitment to accessibility make them feel comfortable in the workplace. And next is life experience. So, Priya experience growing up in India made given them a unique perspective on energy solution in the developing countries, and green tech could leverage this by including and Priya in project with a global reach. So parang namimit niya na yung mga experience na naranasan niya. Then next is socioeconomic background. As a recent immigrant, Priya may be facing financial difficulties, and green tech offers competitive salaries and benefits package to help each financial burden, and lastly is employee engagement. So overall, the factors that mentioned about contribute positively to Priya engagement, they feel value for their identity, skill, and experience, and Green Tech poster as exclusive environmental that allows to Priya contribute meaningfully and feel passionate about their work. So there are four basic type of diversity at work. First is internal diversity. So consisting of observable traits such as race, gender, age, and physical ability, ethnicity, and cultural identity. So, for example, ang internal diversity daw is ito yung isang company na may iba't ibang identity ng employee na pinapakita. Like for example, ako is nag-work sa office tapos may ka-workmate ako na may ibang lahi like Chinese, Americano, and mapag-girl man or boy at hindi kami magkaka-same age at hindi kami same ng mga skill pero nandun pa rin yung respect ko sa mga kasama ko sa trabaho. Then, next naman is external diversity. External diversity is based on factor external to people innate characteristics such as education, socioeconomic background, martial status, and parental status, religious beliefs, and life experience. So, like for example, may isang employee na lumaki sa province at nagtrabaho sa bukid nung kanyang kabataan. Then, yung isa naman is lumaki naman sa syudad. So, nagkakaroon ng access sa iba't ibang kaganapan like cultural. So, this distinct background shape their perspective and approach to solving and which can lead to innovative and solution and a richer, more inclusive and work environment. And last is, second to the last is organizational diversity. So, encompassing the variety of roles and perspectives within company, including different in job functions, hierarchical level, department, on union appreciation. So, organizational diversity within a company can be seen when different terms come together for a project, each bringing unique perspective. Like, for example, isang IT specialist ako and isang marketing manager at isang production worker ay maaaring nagbibigay ng iba't ibang mga perspective batay sa kanilang mga tungkulin. Yan. And last is worldview diversity, referring to the variety of perspective and beliefs individual hold shaped by their cultural, philosophical, religious, and personal experience. So this is worldview diversity is evident in a multicultural workplace where employees come from different backgrounds and experience. Like, for example, during a team meeting, one person might propose a traditional approach to problem solving based on their upbringing in a rural community, while another might suggest a more innovative and technology-driven approach influenced by the urban. And these differing perspectives can lead to creative solutions and a more inclusive work environment where every voice is a value. And next slide, please. So, meron naman tayong benefits of workplace diversity. First is enhanced flexibility. Organization can quickly adapt to fluctuating market demands and internal change by diversifying the workforce. So, for example, pinapalakas ng iba't ibang uri ng team ng employee ang kakayahan sa pagbabago ng technology like companies, na iba't ibang various background and experience. At kapag may bigla ang pagbabago sa needs ng market demand tulad ng pangangailangan para sa bagong uri ng software, ang magkakaibang team ay maaaring magsama-sama or nagtutulungan sila para mabuo at magawa nila yung ninanais na hingi-hingi ng ginagawa nun para mapalakas pa nila na yung way na yon is mapapadali nila yung at mabilis nila matapos kung ano yung ninanais nilang gawin. So, next is improve employees engagement. This is offering employee opportunities to work on diverse projects, keep them motivate and engage, leading to higher job satisfaction and retention rate. So, for example, ang isang software engineer ay maaaring magtrabaho sa isang project sa pagbuo ng mobile app. At sa sunod naman nito ay lumapit ka sa isang project para sa pag-optimize naman ng data storage. Sa pamamagitan ng pagsali niya sa magkakaibang project, nagkakaroon siya ng pagkakataon na matuto ng iba't ibang skills sa trabaho. And next is skill development. Employees gain exposure to new challenges and experience, allowing them to broaden their skill set and advance their career with the organization. So, for example na lang dito is, an employee who usually work in a sale might be given a chance to work a marketing campaign, and this exposure helps them learn about different aspects of the business, develop new competencies, and potentially advance their career within the organization. And last is cost saving. Leveraging existing talent reduce the need for external recruitment and training, resulting in cost saving organization. For example, sa pamamagitan ng pag-promote ng mga employee mula sa loob ng company, sa halip na kumuha ng mga bagong employee sa labas, ay mas hindi sila kumukuha kasi mas makakatipid sila ng gastos sa recruitment of training. So, bali, ang current employee are already aware with the company's culture and procedure, making them effective and variable resources. So, sa ganitong pamamaraan, hindi lamang nakakatipid ng gastos, kundi nakakapagpataas din ng mga moral or loyalty ng mga employees dahil nakikita nila ang pagkakataon para sa pagpapalago pa at pag-angat ng negosyo. And next slide, please. So, may 4 pillars of diversity and inclusion naman tayo. First is community. Community is building a sense of belonging and collaboration. For example, yung global tech company, hinihikayat ang mga employee mula sa iba't ibang backgrounds ng ibahagi ang kanilang mga cultural tradition, like sumali ako sa taunang festival, kahit magkakaiba kami ng kultura, dahil dito, napapakita pa rin namin yung pagko-collaboration namin sa isa't isa. And next is yung growth, supporting employee development and career advancement. So, for example, a marketing firm offers mentorship program to employee, helping them identify their strengths and areas for improvement. Employees receive personalized guidance and support through regular one-on-one meetings to grow their skill and advance their career. So, next is education, providing opportunities for learning and understanding different perspectives. So, a financial institution daw is organized workshop and seminar on topic like unconscious bias and cultural sensitivity. So, this educational session help employees better understand their career perspective and encourage inclusive workplace to culture. So, last is engagement. So, engagement is actively involving employees and company initiative and decision. So, like for example, a large corporation, establishment, employee resources group like PNM. So, where team members can join based on shared interests, identities, or experience, This CNM actively engage employees in shaping company policies and initiatives promoting or more exclusive, more environment. So next slide please. Next is how diversity and inclusion affect workplaces. So ito nga, diverse and inclusive business can help employees feel more connected and welcome in the workplace, but company benefits from diversity as well when employees feel appreciated at work. Productivity and innovation tend to increase. So business may also see their candidate pool expand and company culture improve. So ito nga, for example, in a company that value diversity and inclusion, employee from different backgrounds feel welcome and recognized. For example, sa isang team na may mga member mula sa iba't ibang lahi nga, gender at age, maaring magatid sila ng iba't ibang perspective o solution sa mga problema. Dahil dito, mas nagiging malikhain pa sila at mas epektibo ang mga proyekto na nagagawa nila kasi nga is iba't ibang lahi. So, iba't iba din yung pag-iisip na meron sila. Ganun. Then, next slide please. So, ito naman tayo sa advantage and disadvantage. First is advantage. First is a wider range of ideas and perspectives. So people from different backgrounds bring unique experience and viewpoints to the table. This can lead to more creative solution, better problem solving, and a more comprehensive understanding on the market. For example, sa isang marketing campaign, ang isang member team na si Tria na taga-province ay maaring nakakaintindi kung paano akitin yung mga customer para makabenta. At habang yung isa naman mula sa lungsod ay maaaring magbigay ng pananaw sa mga consumer trends. So this diversity can lead to more innovative strategy that effectively hits different target audience and create a stronger, more inclusive campaign. And next is enhanced decision making. With diverse perspective, companies can avoid groupthink and make more well-rounded decisions. Like, for example, one member who was familiar with the local market suggested tailoring the campaign to specific cultural reference. Another member with expertise, a digital marketing proposed a target online campaign. By combining these ideas, the team developed a comprehensive approach that resonated with wider audience and ensuring the product launch and success. And the next is improve adaptability, innovation. Diverse teams are better equipped to handle change and develop innovative solutions because they have a wider range of knowledge and experience to grow. Like, for example, of improved adaptability and innovation is a diverse team of professional working on a urban planning project. The team consists of engineer, architect, economic, environmental, and expert from different countries. Dahil sa kanilang magkakaibang perspective at experience ay nagagampanan nila yung iba't ibang aspeto ng proyekto at nagkakaroon ng mga natatanging solusyon sa mga challenges. Like, for example, when designing a sustainable park, the environment expert can bring knowledge about local biodiversity, while the architect provides innovative and design for the space. The collaboration of different skills leads to more effective innovation and outcome. So next slide. So next is expanded candidate pool. So magbibigay na ako agad na example, like sa isang company, pinapahalagahan nila ang pagkakaiba-iba at yung pagsasama-sama dahil dito bukas sila sa iba't ibang uri ng mga candidates para sa mga posisyon sa company. At hindi lamang ito nagbibigay sa kanila ng mga malawak na pagpipilian, kundi ay nagbibigay daan din para makilala sila at para ma-hire din sila. At mapasok din sila sa mga new employee na merong iba't ibang perspective at karanasan. And next is improve trust and culture. So, magbigay na lang ulit ako ng example. Like, for example, is one example of promoting diversity and inclusivity in the workplace to improve trust and culture is creating employee resources groups like TNM that represent different identities such as gender, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. This group can organize events, workshops, and discussion to foster understanding and respect among employees. So by actively supporting and participating in this group, an employer demonstrates their commitment to an inclusive culture, making employee feel value and encouraged to bring who serve to work. And next slide is disadvantage. May two disadvantage tayo. First is communication challenges. So language barrier and cultural difference can lead to misunderstanding and communication difficulties. Like for example, si Priya ay isang Pilipino na nagtatrabaho siya sa international company sa Canada. So, sa isang meeting kasama ang kanyang mga kasamahan, nahihirapan siyang ipaliwanag kanyang mga idea or thoughts dahil sa pagkakaiba nga ng wika na meron sila at kultura. So, ang mga kasamahan niya ay hindi naiintindihan ng kanyang mga sinasabi kasi nga may language barrier na pumitigil dito. And next is potential for conflict. When people from different background come together, there's greater chance of disagreement and conflict. For example, when a team is composed of people from different cultures, disagreement about work style and approach can occur. A person from a culture that value direct communication may clash with someone from a culture that prefers more indirect approach. So this can lead to misunderstanding and conflict with the team and affecting na din yung sa mga kasamahan niya kasi nga maiba pang nagkakaroon ng conflict kasi nga hindi nagkakaunawaan sila. So that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Stacey Rostocot, for your wonderful talk. And now let's proceed to our third speaker. Our third speaker is a former production staff of Swagzak Enterprise. Please welcome Pamela De Guzman.
So yun, thank you, Mr. De Guzman. Next topic is about empowerment of human resource. Empowerment of human resource involves providing employees with the tools, knowledge, and authority to make decisions and take action in their roles. It fosters a sense of ownership, responsibility, and motivation among employees, leading to increase productivity and job satisfaction. So, sa HR, mahalaga siyang ma-empower and mabigyang pansin kasi yung HR yung nag-a-align dun sa employee or sa applicant based dun sa kakayahan niya. Yung HR din yung nag-a-assist kung fit ba yung applicant sa positions na pinasukan niya. Kapag fit kasi sa lahat ng positions, mas productive yung isang operations nila or yung mga susunod nilang operations na gagawin. And of course, may mga pinoprovide din yung HR sa company. Example, kung hindi pa talaga properly trained, mahirap din i-secure yung productivity. So ginagawa ni HR, magpapaseminar siya and essential din yung HR sa mga cultures and paghahandle ng mga tao in terms sa mga behavior sa pag-maintain ng peace and order sa workforce nila. And yung next slide naman is, ayan, empowerment of human resources encompasses various aspects, yung leadership, training and development, communication, recognition and rewards, feedback mechanisms, and resource allocations. So overall, the examples that I have given, empowering HR development will provide quality to works the employees provide. Ibig sabihin, kapag maayos yung pag-handle ng mga tao sa firm, mas magagawa nila yung work nila ng mas mabuti and mas marami silang matatrabaho or magagawa. So mas productive and syempre, mas magiging ng higher sales yung company nila. Next naman is yung building core competency. Building core competency involves developing and nurturing a set of unique strengths and capabilities that distinguish a company from its competitors. This often involves focusing on key areas where the company excels and investing resources in developing those strengths further. So, dito naman, yung building core competency is yun yung nakakatulong para sa mga company na gumagawa ng set ng mga kakaibang strategies na kung saan mas magiging kakaiba yung isang company sa iba niyang competitors. And sa pamamagitan din kasi nun, mas nagkakaroon yung isang company ng competitive advantage sa pamamagitan ng mga unique strategies nila, kung paano sila nakakakuha ng mga new customers and paano sila makakasabay sa pagmamarket ng ibang competitors nila. Next is yung crucial for several reasons or yung mga importance. Meron dyan yung competitive advantage, value creation, innovation, efficiency, long-term sustainability, and strategic focus. Sa competitive advantage, dito, yung mas advantage, sa competitive advantage, mas advantage ka kesa sa mga competitors mo when it comes to your uniqueness in the product. And hindi basta-basta magagawa nila yung product na pinroduce mo. Yung product na pinroduce mo. Next is yung value creation naman. Yung value creation naman is dito ini-emphasize mo na mas mabigyan ng value yung mga customers mo. Hindi lang para kundi magkaroon ng satisfaction yung mga bibili sa inyo and para makabuild ka rin ng good relationship towards sa customers mo. And yung sa innovation naman is as the market change naman, sumasabay ka din para hindi nahuhuli or para um or para hindi nalalaos yung product mo, mas ini-innovate mo or ini-improve mo yung product mo. Next naman is yung efficiency. Dito naman is mas nagpo-focus ka sa pagiging efficient mo when it comes to your resources, na kung saan nagko-concentrate ka kung paano ka pa makakapag-operate efficiently and hindi ka mas mapapagastos ng mas malaki. And sa long-term sustainability naman is kung paano mo mas mapapanatili in the long run yung business mo. And ito yung nagki-create ng foundation para mas mapanatili mo yung consistent in the long run yung sustainability ng product na binebenta mo. And yung last is yung strategic focus naman. Dito naman is kung paano ka nakakaisip ng mga strategic na kung dito naman is kung paano ka nakakaisip ng mga strategies mo and kasama na din yung decisions making when it comes to your investment on your company na dapat yung strategies mo na naisip is naka-align dun sa strategic objectives mo.
Thank you, Miss Pamela de Guzman. For our last speaker for today's podcast, our last speaker is a former production staff, also of Swaxnac Enterprise. Please welcome Justine Dizon.
Thank you, Mr. Louis, for that introduction. So, next slide. Ay, okay na pala. So, crucial for several reasons. So, what is work ethic? Very simple. Put work ethic meaning a system of moral principle. The term is derived from the Greek word ethos, which indicates custom, habit, character, or disposition. Ethic involves making moral choices, such as determining what is right and what is wrong, and how to act ethically. So, ano nga ba yung work ethics? So, yung work ethic, ito po yung idea sa isip natin na alam natin kung ano yung mga dapat gawin, kung ano yung tama at mali. So, next is, what should basic work ethic for an organizations include? So first is having uniform rules and regulation. So having uniform rules and regulations, an unethical organization should treat all employees with respect regardless of background and provide the same opportunities for advancement. Hence, managers need to refrain from favoring one employee over another as it may lead to lawsuits. So having a uniform rules and regulations. So kapag meron tayong maayos na rules and regulations sa ating company is magkakaroon ng formal na pagpapatakbo ng company, mas maayos na magagawa yung mga trabaho, and kailangan din po nating respetuhin ng bawat isa dahil part din po siya ng rules and regulation ng company. So next is communicating the rules and regulation to everyone. So communication the rules and regulations to everyone. An ethical organization needs to ensure that the company policies are clearly communicated to every employee with absolute transparency. So kailangan daw po nating magkaroon ng maayos na komunikasyon sa ating mga employees. Halimbawa, ako po ay isang manager ng enterprise namin. Kailangan ko pong i-communicate sa mga employees ko or sa mga members ko kung ano yung mga rules and regulation na kailangan nilang gawin at kailangan nilang sundin. So next is respecting employees. Respecting employees muna pala. So an organization with ethics needs to respect its employees and be reciprocated in the same manner. It should not have rigid rules and regulation for its employees and should be compassionate towards the employees. So mahalaga yung pagrerespeto sa ating mga employees kasi kailangan nating tignan yung mga bawat isa ng pantay-pantay. So wala dapat tayong as a manager, wala dapat tayong pinapanigan. Example, nagkaroon ng problema sa workplace nyo or sa company nyo. Dapat wala tayong pinifavor na tao or may nagtalo ganyan or may nag-away. Dapat pare-pares lang ang tingin natin, aayusin lang natin yun ng nababase sa pantay-pantay na pagtingin sa mga employees. And gaya rin pala, dagdag ko rin pala yung example na binigay ni Stacy kanina na even though na iba sila yung religion, iba yung paniniwala nila, and ano man yung kulay nila, ano man kung saan man sila galing, ano man bansa meron sila, we should respect everybody na nasa loob ng company natin upang magkaroon ng formal na pagpapatakbo ng ating kumpanya. So lastly is avoiding micromanagement. An organization should establish the key roles and responsibilities right at the time of onboarding. It should refrain from micromanaging its staff. If required, the employee should be included into work ethics skills training the time of joining organization. So, isa rin po ito sa mahalagang parte ng work ethics is ang pag-avoid ng micromanagement. In Tagalog, yung pangmamanliit po ng ating mga employees. Gaya po na sinabi ko kanina, kailangan po nating respetuhin ng bawat isa. Gaya ng kung paano tayo nila respetuhin, ibabalik din natin yung respeto na binibigay nila sa atin. So, dapat wag nating maliitin ng bawat isa. Kung manager ka man or owner ka man ng company, dapat mahalin mo yung mga employees mo dahil sila yung best asset na meron ka upang maabot mo yung mga goals and objectives mo. So next is human resource development function. What are the main functions of human resource development? So human resource development helps organization improve employee performance and ability. The main functions include employee training, performance management, and sourcing and acquiring best talent. So yung isa sa function ng human resource development is yung pag-training sa mga members, sa mga employees mo para ma-enhance yung talent nila, ganyan, and mas gumaling pa sila, mas mapadali yung trabaho, mas mapabilis yung mga kailangan gawin. And especially, yung isa pa sa function ng human resource development is paghahanap po ng mga employees na best po nasakto po sa skill nila dun sa may hinahanap po ng company. So next is, what are the role of human resource development? Human resource development seeks to improve employee performance and ability. This framework guides organization regarding training employees and providing career development opportunities and ensuring motivation. So, gaya ng sinasabi ko kanina, hindi lang puro training and yung binibigay natin sa mga employees natin. So, yung function din po ng human resource development is sila rin po yung nagbibigay ng motivations sa mga employees para gaya po ng sinasabi kanina na magkaroon po tayo ng, hindi lang po kailangan puro lagi customer retention, kailangan din po natin ng employees retention, na magkaroon po sila ng loyalty po sa ating company. Kapag binibigyan po natin sila ng motivation, ganyan, belongingness, gaya po nung sinasabi po ni Sir Cortez na hierarchy of needs, hindi lang po laging pera yung kailangan ng mga employees, kailangan din po nila ng good na environment sa company para magstay po sila and maging loyal po sila sa company na meron tayo.
Thank you for our last speaker, Justin Dizon. And that is it for today's episode. I hope you learned something from our speakers. Alam ko naman na may natutunan. Yung bawat isa sa mga nanonood ngayon, alam natin may natutunan sila dahil may nag-provide yung mga speakers natin ng mga napaka-informative presentation for today's podcast. So, let's call it a day. See you on our next episode, Casinos. Thank you and bye-bye.